big-time upset alerts on the radar this weekend. The way we like to do it around here is I put a concern rating on the upset alert meter. Like that, just because I mentioned this game doesn't mean I'm picking the upset. I'm just kind of letting you know how concerned I am about it. So, for example, Georgia Tech plays Georgia Friday in Athens. This is a Friday game. It's very atypical, but it is a Friday game, 7:30 Eastern Friday night. I've got a 4 on this game. Upset alert concern, a 4. Here's why. First off, that's not a high rating, but here's why. Haynes King, when he starts at quarterback for Georgia Tech, they're 7-2. Georgia has already clinched the East. This game does matter because it's a rivalry game, and if Georgia loses this one, they've got no margin for error next week in Atlanta. So it does matter, but there is just the whole Brent Key in a big game element in play. There's a slight scheduling dynamics edge in play for Georgia Tech, so it bears watching. I'll put a 4 on it. Not high, I'll put a 4 on it. Now this next one, yeah, it does bear very close watching. Tennessee is a 10.5-point favorite at Vanderbilt. I've got a 7 on this game. It's right down the road from our studio in Nashville. Other than the South Carolina game, Vandy has either won every game they've played or they've been within one possession. So Texas didn't blow them out. LSU didn't blow them out. And now they're at home where they beat Alabama. They played Texas close. Tennessee's coming in. They've held 6 straight opponents to 20 or less. Top 40 run defense. Tennessee defense focused on the quarterback. Top 40 run outfit here. I think Tennessee will be locked in. I think they will win the game. Maybe I even think they'll cover. But I've also seen Tennessee get shut out in the first half too often. I've seen Vandy hang around in games far too often this year that the paper, says they have no business being in. This is the Super Bowl moment for Vandy. And I'm going to put a 7 on the upset alert concern meter. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Obviously, it's a lot harder when you're facing Texas. At Auburn, they just went and won. South Carolina, LSU, it's hard. But you can close it out here with a win. I'm going to put a 7 on it. Washington is at Oregon. Don't think it's going to happen. Happened twice last year, though. So I think they've got Oregon's attention. I'm going to put a 3 on this one on the upset alert concern meter. Oregon's already in the Big Ten championship game. So it means a lot. Let me just put your mind at ease. This game means a lot. Washington beat them twice last year. It doesn't matter if none of those players are there anymore. That helmet looks the same. Washington's 0-4 on the road this year, and 3 of those losses have come by 14+. Oregon's coming off a bye. The indicators are all pointing down for Washington. So I'm going to take Oregon to win, and I don't know if they're going to cover. I don't have a strong feel on the spread, but upset alert concern not particularly high for me on this one. But the next game, oh boy. Miami, you know what they do this week? They go on the road to Syracuse. Now, that game is indoors. That's the good news. But this is the first game of the season where Cam Ward will not be the leading passer. Do you realize that? Kyle McCord, the Ohio State transfer, Kyle McCord, 358.7 yards per game passing. He's leading the country. Syracuse has got the number 1 quarterback in the country in that stat department. I'm going to put a 7 on this game. This isn't some gimme. This is not a gimme at all. Miami's laying 10.5. Syracuse is top 50 in pass defense. Syracuse is 4th themselves offensively. They're 4th in passes of 20-plus yards. So they can stretch the field vertically, explosively. They can limit you through the air. It's just got all the makings of a game that is very close in the fourth quarter. I've got a 7 on this one. Miami's got to have this one to go to the ACC championship game. It bears close watching. Memphis is at Tulane. I think that game's a Thursday night. I think this is Thanksgiving night. I think Tulane's the best G5 team out there. Memphis, 4th best turnover margin in the country. That's their route here. I've got a 6 on the upset alert concern meter. Tulane's competing with Boise. They need style points. So at every opportunity that they can to get margin in this game, they will get margin. Tulane's played 6 straight games. Memphis is off a bye. It's a big schedule dynamic advantage for Memphis. They are playing in New Orleans, but laying 13.5, I think Tulane gets the job done. I'm going to put a 6 on it because of the scheduling stuff. And then the Big 12 this week. So the Big 12 just the whole thing could be a mess. There are still 31 active conference title scenarios entering Week 14. So Kansas State's at Iowa State. Iowa State -2.5 at FanDuel. Houston's at Brigham Young. Cougars -13.5 at FanDuel. Arizona State at FanDuel, 8.5-point favorite against Arizona. Oklahoma State is a 16.5-point dog at Colorado. All those courtesy of FanDuel. So if all four favorites win, we think it'll be Iowa State, Arizona State in the Big 12 championship game. And I just want to tell you, I was looking at the odds to win the Big 12 over at FanDuel before we went on air, and Iowa State is +260. They're not favored to win the Big 12 right now. Arizona State is. What a headline that is, by the way, to tell your July self. I am taking some action myself on Iowa State +260. You guys can follow me or not. There is bias here. I am an Iowa State homer because all of us who grew up in West Central Georgia tend to lean Iowa State. There's just something in the water. But at FanDuel right now, if you like Iowa State, you can +260. You can get them to win the conference. That's where I'm going anyway.